Welcome everybody to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm ADHD coach 𝐓𝐘𝐒 here today to talk to you about hindsight and foresight. This video is being done based off a request off of our channel. They asked me to talk about foresight, and to be honest with you, that's all they said. So I'm going to have to infer a lot of maybe what they're looking for in this. But needless to say, let's talk about this. When you're in an experience, let's say you're at a party, you leave the party, and down the road, you begin to reflect back on that party. Understand that a memory is not maybe what we think it is. Basically, you were at that party and you were in an experience, and that experience is kind of broken up in a gazillion little pieces and spread all over your brain. Like the audio part goes to the audio part, the visual part goes to that part, the smell part goes to that part. So in the future, when you're reflecting back on that event, what you're doing is you're simulating, you're recreating your best guess of that experience. That's why memory can become skewed as time passes. That's hindsight often is looking back into the past and drawing memories or experiences, which are very influenced by your feelings, by the way. Foresight is very similar in that you're looking into the future, and what you're doing is you're scouring your brain for past experiences to try to simulate your best guess of what the future might be. Now, visual imagery is an executive function according to Dr. Barkley's model of executive function. Visual imagery is the ability to see the future. By the way, visual imagery is what we use to manage time. Yes, managing time is more of a thinking impairment than it is a time impairment. So visualizing the future or trying to reflect on the past requires you to retrieve knowledge, which is difficult for people with ADHD. So often their recollection of past events are not maybe as accurate, and their simulations of the future are not as accurate, or a lot of times really to tune in to what's going on is a little bit more challenging than they understand. So let me kind of bring this down into some more understandable terms. There's a lot of people that I coach that have an idea of a job that they think would be good, and they try to simulate it in their mind, but the reality of it is often that job isn't what they really foreseen it to be. And I encourage them often to go to that location, to the job, and actually observe what's really going on. So an example of this, and again, this is a little bit skewed, but the idea is to get the point is a lot of people think of like being a nurse as to helping people. And there's definitely some helping into it, but a lot of times a nurse's job is about taking a protocol, a procedural steps, applying them and recording them. Simple way of thinking that's like drawing blood. There's the sequential steps that you do to draw blood, and then you record that you had the blood drawn, and then you go set another set of steps, etc. Often people don't really realize, they can't see that as what they do. We're like lawyers. A lot of their job is you read stuff and you write an opinion. You read stuff and you write an opinion. They have a hard time visualizing that in the future. One of the things that I recommend for people with ADHD is when they're trying to see the future, something is to try to get into that experience to simulate it, because their visual imagery is impaired. And actually to be there gives them a better idea of what it's really like. With that said, I don't know if that answered the question of the person who made the comment, but I hope that this has given some information for many of you to kind of ponder and maybe relate to. Often it's helpful to have a coach or a family member or just a friend help you retrieve memories of the past and talk about what the future might bring or what the future might look like as a means to accommodate your executive functioning impairment. If you're new to our channel, please hit the subscribe button. We try to release a video like this each week. If you're an existing viewer, please comments. You know I love that type of stuff. Also, we do what we do for you. Any contribution by hitting the thanks button would be greatly appreciated. With that, we hope you've enjoyed this edition of Attention Talk Video. Take care.